Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me, the podcast where we blame you. Kidding. That's really not what happens. We give wonderful, amazing, life-changing advice, and we listen to calls that you, our listeners, call in with, and then we tell you what we think you should do with your life in your situation. Tell you, dump your partner, get married to your partner, have sex with that person, don't have sex with that person, cut them out, bring them in, don't make a potato salad if you're alive before the Great Depression.
That's not on this show.
I guess you're right. That does, the multiverse blends together.
It does.
So if you are like, this show, this is great, I need more, don't worry. We have so many other things. So subscribe to the feed. And you can see our other shows as well. And we're also on Patreon. But yeah, we're going to answer calls. We're going to listen to your voicemails. So if you want to leave a voicemail for an upcoming episode, you can leave one at 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can send an audio message at meganpodcast@gmail.com. And I guess I should say what our names are.
My name is Megan.
My name is Melissa. You might be wondering why we're qualified to give this advice. Why would you say we're qualified, Megan?
I would say that we're qualified because, one, we're brilliant.
Yes.
Two, we both have degrees in astrophysicism.
Yeah. And we have accolades in the field. Like it's a highly competitive, and like we've just quite easily soared to the top.
We've got Nobel Peace Prizes, a couple between us, and one
Honestly,
together too.
Yeah, half of them are in storage. Like there's at this point dime a dozen.
Right. We also have successfully dived to the Titanic and came back.
Yeah, free dive. And like mine was fine. So.
And also like we're friends. We like literally have friends that are orcas.
Yep. So if you need someone, let us know. We know a guy.
We've gone to space, but like with actual astronauts and explored. Yeah, we didn't just it wasn't just the tip.
No, Melissa's made alien contact biblically.
Memories. I mean, those are just a few. We don't have time to get into all of it.
No, I could write a dissertation on our credentials.
Yeah.
But we also have opinions, and that makes us not only qualified, but makes us have the drive and the passion to pick up a microphone and start a podcast. Because we have opinions and people need to hear them. You're welcome.
You're welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good, I think. You gave me the look of like, are you? I'm fine. I'm so fucking tired.
Why?
I'm never not tired. Well, do you want to hear about it?
You look great though.
Thank you.
You've got the 90s dress and t-shirt combo going on. I love it.
Thanks. I brought a third outfit change in case that you saw it and you went, what the fuck are you wearing? Because I asked Mott, I was like, do you think this is cute? And he was like, yeah. And I go, it's one of those, I love him and I love like living with him and I love my life with him. But like there is something really hard about like living with like a straight boy and like not like a girlfriend, of being like, does this look good? Like he would if I looked fucking weird, he would just be like, it's fine. Like he doesn't get it. And so I was like, okay, so I don't think
it's a classic outfit. I could see so Gwyneth Paltrow wearing this.
JP. Mm-hmm. Oh wow, well thank
Goop
you.
Herself.
Wow. To answer your question about how I am doing, I do look a lot better than I'm feeling. I had a nightmare night before last that I developed gangrene and had to amputate my leg. But the gangrene looked like, because I have no idea what gangrene looks like. I don't want to know. Megan thought that it looked like a mix between moss and astroturf.
Close enough.
I showed Mons and I was like, yeah, my legs really bother me. He's like, and I showed him, he's like, oh my God, why didn't you notice this? And I said, I was wearing leggings. Like, I don't know. And
when do you wear leggings?
I don't know. Winter. But what I've deduced of this, apparently, having to amputate a limb, specifically a leg, I looked it up. Dreams say that is a feeling like you've had something holding you back from like making a decision, or you have something like preventing you from moving forward. You have to like drop a dead weight or whatever. But I think the real true meaning of
Who is that?
No, this is not that though, because I think the real true meaning of it was my left leg. And that is the leg where I have my wonky toenail. And I think it is representative of me thinking that I need to go to the podiatrist and just get an okay checkout on my toenail to make sure it's good. And then I don't think I'll have the gangrene dream again.
When you were looking up dreams, did you look up what's it mean when you're best friends with a Kardashian in a dream?
No, but we should actually look up that too. Let's do that in tomorrow.
Okay.
See you next Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
Let's look up like any of the dreams that we've remembered recently having, or like iconic dreams in our lives.
Okay.
So we do have an update.
Can't wait. Today we're in for a treat because we're joined by a SoundCloud rapper.
Yeah, like a SoundCloud star.
Former SoundCloud star. My blade of glory lasted a whole 2 days.
Nice.
Yeah, it was too much power. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Hey, the world wasn't ready.
Okay, so I'm recapping.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Basically, in the last episode, we learned that I'm delusional. Well, actually, y'all learned I'm delusional. I already knew. I had this best friend for 10 years, and we were at times more than friends. And then in August of 2021, I tried to myself, and she couldn't handle it because I had been in and out of treatment for years, and she just kind of decided that was too much or whatever. At least that's what I think. This is all in my head because she's never talked to me. She never explained why she left.
Yeah.
And then a couple weeks ago, I saw her subtweeting me on Twitter, and I was like, oh, she's talking about me and thinks I'm a bad person. So I should stop thinking we're going to become friends magically in 20 years when we run into each other on the street. It's not going to happen. And the update is that I'm officially blocked on Twitter. So I don't know. There's no way for me to communicate with them. I do still drive by their house every now and then.
Stop. Oh my gosh.
2 days ago. Also, I think it's important to mention, I called you guys 2 years ago about this situation when we were just starting our friends with benefits era.
Uh-huh.
And y'all told me, don't do it. And I was like,
and look at us now.
Well, can you recap that call? What happened?
That was about?
No, it was just I was so I have this person I've been friends with for 8 years, and we started messing around, and it'll be fine, right? And y'all were like, how about no? And then sure enough, 2 years later, here we are. So you were right.
Yeah. Hey,
we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, we do love to hear it. I hate that that's how it worked out for you. I hate that, you were a casualty in us being right, but it is a side effect of us being right. Wow. So wait, I need to know, and I'm not saying this accusatory at all. Is there something that got you blocked on Twitter?
Yes.
Yeah,
I can. They can't see your face. We can. Okay, so yeah, something happened.
So she subtweeted me. She wasn't like this. Insert my name here.
Yeah,
but like the tweet was she tweeted my astrology placements and was like, this person's like this like just bad things, right? And it's
What?
my placements, so I know it's me.
I'm sorry, that's so unhinged. That is like beyond a subtweet. That's not like, don't you hate like backstabbing bitches? It's like, look at this person's birth chart. And it's like, that's my birth chart.
No, literally. And so I wasn't blocked on this account because this account was newer. I was blocked on my old account.
Wait,
and
did you make a new account?
No, I think it's the other person's account. Other person's new account, right?
No. I had to make a new account on Twitter because I lied about my age when I was 12. And I went to change my birth year on Twitter. And it was like, sorry, you lied 10 years ago, so you're banned now. And so I had to make a whole new Twitter. Yeah,
How?
I know. I had to make a whole new Twitter. And then I had access to their tweets again. So that was not good. But now after that incident where I called them out for their tweet, they ended up privating all their tweets. So
it worked.
It worked, yeah.
Yeah.
But
you know what this means? You gotta take it to Threads now.
I know. I know. But I'm also blocked on Instagram. And Instagram does the thing where it like cross blocks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize because I was blocking people on Threads because I didn't want to see their stuff. And then I realized, I blocked them on Instagram too. I had to go mute instead of block.
I blocked my mom on Threads because she's not blocked on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only person I think I blocked was my mom. So
relatable. Same. On everything. So did you respond to their tweet about that? Or did you
I did.
Like private okay. Did you subtweet in response, or did you direct reply to their subtweet?
I direct replied. I was like,
I respect that.
I direct replied. I was like, first off, this is wrong. And then I just talked, and then I called her out, and then I knew she was, I thought about it before though. I was like, I know she's gonna block me.
Yeah.
If I do this. So I did it willing to be blocked. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna full send this, get everything out. And then if I never talk to them again, it's fine because I got everything out in the open. So but I don't know. It's weird because like we were definitely a thing we had chemistry for the whole time we were friends, right?
Yeah.
And then in high school, she was like this out lesbian, like fully lesbian. And now she's engaged to a man. So the whole situation's weird. It's all weird.
Yeah. I think we can stop driving by her house.
Yeah. I think we should stop.
I think we're good with, I think we're done with that.
Because I don't think we're fully non-delusional yet.
Yeah.
Because
no.
If you write in for an update here, we have a form to fill out and ask for a 1-sentence update. And yours, what did yours say?
I said something about I'm not delusional anymore. I'm fixed now.
Yeah,
or something like that.
We're rebuking that, and I think that you've downsized delusional.
Like you see the light, but you haven't quite reached it yet.
I think you're just relishing in this. You know, like I used to drive by my high school ex-boyfriend's house, like when I would be like in town or whatever, and like for what? I was doing that. Why? You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I honestly have it in my head. I think I have main character syndrome.
You are like, I mean, you are clearly a main character, though.
Yeah. Thank you. But I have this thing in my head where I'm like, everything has to be super traumatic. Everything has to be like a scene from a movie. Mm-hmm. I have it like, I think that I'm an indie film at all times, right? Yep. And I was so dramatic before she completely like cut me off. Oh my God. So this is not the first time she's cut me off. I think that's why I'm so delusional. Is because she's cut me off before and she came back, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it always took like 2 weeks. And this time it's been almost 2 years. So I think
And so that's how you got to the 20 years that you go, well, if it hasn't been 2 years, maybe 20 years. Here's the thing though, you are the main character, but driving by her house, you're making her the main character.
Yep.
I know.
You're like the side character. You're doing like side character energy. Like, and that's not, she should be driving by your house and being like delusional about you. Do you know what I mean?
Period. Exactly. Actually, our house is for sale right now. And I really want her to like drive by. Like in my head, she's like driven by and she's like, oh my God, they're moving. Where is it going? And it's like, then she's like pondering my existence and like thinking about me. And like, it's not true. None of it's true. I guarantee she even blocked my mom on Pokemon Go. Like that's how deep she went.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this. Like,
Pokemon
I understand
Go.
that people need to like protect their own mental health, and like I've had to like separate from people who like whatever. But like, I think like if one of your close, like someone you're very close to emotionally, and you've been close intimately, whether you are currently at the moment or you have at any point, if you're going to like complete ghost cut, no contact, and it is related because that person's mental health struggles are affecting your mental health struggles, I do think you at some point need to voice that. If you can't do it immediately, but I think within like, but I think like 2 years, like I would be, what if we shifted this to being pissed at her, and then we shifted that even further to then be indifferent, like don't give a shit, like I don't need that.
No, I was bad. That's why I responded to the tweet, because I was pissed. And that only lasted like I'm an Aries, right? And a typical like trait of us is that we get angry, but then we get over it really quick. Like we get over things as soon as we like stop thinking about it, or we have our emotions. And that's very much what happened. It was like I was pissed for like a day, and then I was like, yeah, but we have so many good memories. And
no.
And here I am. And I think the reason I drive by her house is because I'm trying to make sure that she has the same car, because I've gotten a different car since our friendship ended. And so I'm trying to see if she has a different car, so that when I'm on the street in our hometown, I can like make sure I'm dodging the correct vehicles. You know what I mean? So,
But you've driven
but you're
by
finding the vehicle to dodge the vehicle.
Yeah. So you're seeking it out.
Yeah.
Are you currently doing stand-up?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so I think you channel all of this into like a set, and then you let her like stay in the past as material.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, but that's not fun.
It is fun. Think about it.
Yeah.
It is fun. I have another like kind of dilemma related to her. Like I have this dresser in my room that we painted together that I absolutely love, but she did all the work.
Yeah.
And it just looks like her.
Oh.
And so like
spray paint.
Like get rid of it?
No,
but
spray
it's so
paint.
Cute.
Is there a different shade that you like?
Yeah.
It's rainbow.
Can you paint over all of the things she did just in different colors, like tracing?
It's rainbow though.
Okay, hold on. Let me just show you the freaking dresser. It's like
you can definitely do that.
Yeah.
You can definitely do that. Just pick different colors and then go over it exactly. Just rip off her artwork and make it your own.
Yeah.
Honestly, that might be healing.
Yes. You're painting over the past.
I love it. It's deep and emo, just like me. I love it.
Yeah. I think you just need to like get a really good Spotify playlist. I have a one that is called
It's not the one about drugs, is it?
Songs that have drugs in them? No. I think this one is literally called Main Character Energy, but it's just like songs that are in like movies like, I don't know, Hilary Duff is like looking out a window and it's raining. Like those kinds of like
complete, of course.
Exactly. Like you need to like make a fucking Spotify playlist like that and like do a whole day living like that, but like actually truly living like the main character. And the main character gets over shitty friendships and relationships. They don't do the drive-bys. Like, you know?
This is your montage of...
Yes. Make your montage moment.
Your montage of realization.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your movie montage
that.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like you can still be like, make everything a moment. You could like make everything like a whole ordeal and a big deal. But like center yourself. Don't center her.
Oh God, when you say it, it sounds so horrible. Like it sounds so cringy.
No,
we've all been there.
Are you kidding me? I already made this playlist. I didn't make this playlist for you. I made this playlist for me. Like I listen to this all the time. Like I understand. Like I am a raging main character. So just like don't settle for, you know, quirky BFF energy.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah, I have this problem though. Like I genuinely tend to like fall for my friends. Like that's a bigger problem, I think. Is like I always cross boundaries with my friends. She's not the first one.
Yeah.
And that might be the root of, we should address, why is that a thing that I do? Is it the gay thing or is it a me thing, you know?
Well, I personally relatively only really date friends and only really like start having feelings for people like that. Like I have like a happy medium of like either I don't know anything about you and I can be sexually attracted to you, but if I know a little bit about you, until I know like enough about you and I like you as a person, like if you start talking, then I go, well, I have to make sure you're a good person for me to then like you again. So there's like that in between. But like, do you just like hone in on like individual friendships?
No, anytime anybody shows me an ounce of kindness, I think they're in love with me. And I'm like, oh, obviously we're meant to get a wedding, have a wedding, and live very happily ever after. Because they said something nice to me one time. It can be anybody. Like one time, I went to when I was in the mental hospital after my attempt. Trigger warning, I guess. There was a guy in the hospital, and he was really nice to me, and I thought I was in love with him. I'm gay. Like this is not.
You're like, maybe a lot of things are changing. Yeah, transformative.
Yeah. No, anytime. I think it's because like growing up, I was like picked on a lot. I wasn't like picked for prom, So now, anytime anyone's ever like showing me an ounce of kindness, I think it's because they want to date me and have my children. So
yeah. And some of them might, but also the thing you have to figure out in weeding out all of that, it should not be an attractive thing that someone else is into you. Like that shouldn't influence if you like somebody or you're into somebody. Like somebody just showing interest in you doesn't mean that you like them.
Right.
Which is why I've never actually been in a relationship.
Yeah. No, like, I have friends who like are very much like that. I'm the kind of person, like if someone's nice to me, I go, why? I don't trust you. Like, what are you doing? Like, what do you want from me? But like I have friends who like are very same. They're like, oh my gosh, like this person like is clearly into me. And I'm like, okay, cool. Were you into them? And they're like, I don't know. They're into me. And I'm like, okay, so it doesn't mean anything though. Like you have to have some like agency in that kind of thing. And like, I think like, falling for friends is like a totally fine thing, but it depends on the state of friendships. And if you're one of those people who like you have like a new best friend who you spend all of your time with, then that can become like
and toxic. That's what she was. Like she was like she was at my house every day. Like when I was in therapy doing like the therapy where they like hypnotize you almost. I had to like find my happy place, and like she was my happy place. And now I don't have that anymore, So like I also have BPD, so I tend to make people my like people are my home, right? Yeah. People are like where I get my self-worth from. And I think that this situation really proves that like I thought I was over that, and I'm definitely not over that. Like, I need to get my ass back in therapy, I think, and stop calling it a podcast because it's not free therapy.
Hey, I mean, people use it like that all the time, but I think that's a really like astute like observation, and like that's something that like not obviously like we have very different lives, but like something that like I've had to like I recognize that I get a lot of happiness and I feel the most like myself when I'm like with lots of other people, but then it goes okay, cool, then I'm by my fucking self, and you're like who am I? What am I doing? Yeah, and it's not good. And like I'm in the process of like being like, okay, I have to figure out like who I am when like nobody's around, or like if I'm getting all of this happiness from outside sources and like friendships, that can seem totally fine, but at the end of the day, like that can't be it. But I think like your therapist shouldn't. I also don't think your therapist should like let you have that be your only answer to something of like what is home. It should never be. It can be a person, but it can't be the only thing. Like can be a component of a lot of other things. So I think you're hilarious, and I think you have too much main character energy to demote yourself to being like the quirky character actor on the side of all of this. And moving on from this, using this as material means that like you open yourself up to other people, other relationships, and then more material. And then we get to watch your Netflix special. And then
let us know if like we're part of the special too.
Yeah, we would like to be a part
where
of
we
it.
were the pivotal moment.
Like I had a writer's workshop on Sunday, and I talked about how I called in the podcast because I can't afford therapy, and nobody knew how to respond to that. And I was like,
okay, not my kind of people.
Exactly. And the fact that I'm here now is just going to make it even better. So I'm excited to talk about it on stage and with my people, my friends.
100%. And like you have a great personality. Like you have the, like when I say you have the energy, like you're someone who like when we like hung up stopped listening to your call the first time, I was like, oh my God, I love them. Like you have that like magnetic draw. So think of all the people that you are depriving of having you in their life because you are consumed with her.
Yeah, because you have that magnetic draw, everyone probably is in love with you.
Yes.
And so you need to focus on who you actually like.
I would be in love with you. Like I from a totally non-sexual standpoint, like when you hung up that, I was like, I love this bitch. Like you're great. And so like she's sucking your energy out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sow your seed, like spread, like so much. Like, I do believe everybody is in love with you. Like, I don't think that is delusional. I just think that like you should be a little, you now have the pick of the litter, and just don't pick her.
Wow, you make my life sound so magical. I want to just live through your lens.
Do it.
Yes,
do it for you. Like, it's
see yourself how other people that actually enjoy your company, not that person, see you.
And like, we don't even know you. Like, we've like, this is the first time we've had a talk interact. Like, we just have heard you the first time. So like, this is
2 times. Didn't listen the first time.
No, you're true. True. No, but I'm saying like, this is then people who get to know you even more, and like you falling for friends and that kind of stuff like that. I don't think that is, you know, it could be like you're going to that for comfort, but a lot of people don't want to like cross that line with friends. So like, you've been in that circumstance a lot. Like, that, sure, that says something about you, but like that also says something about like the people who like these people also really care for you. And so I think that is like a win. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's a win, but I do think you have to stop driving by her house to avoid her, because it is a little counterproductive.
It's very counterproductive. And like, I don't know what I'm expecting to happen. Like,
I'm gonna tell you right now, if you see her out, this is what stopped me after like, I don't even know how many times we fucking drove by my ex's house. He's outside and I immediately went, never again. Like, that was the worst thing that could happen.
Because think about if she sees you.
Yeah.
We saw each other at a traffic light. Like, because I told,
so we lived literally what her car looks like.
Each other. Yeah.
Oh,
like 2 months ago.
But okay, so hold on.
Why do you think she's getting a new car?
That's the thing, is you know what her car looks like. So why are you still driving by?
Because it could change at any moment. I got a car really impulsively.
When's her lease?
I don't know. You're right. I think I'm just making excuses because I don't want to like let go of that, because 10 years is a long time. So
have you been making other friends?
Yeah, I've made more friends in the last year doing stand-up, I think, than I've had as a human being in my whole life. Honestly, like, the last 2 years after my attempt has been the best years of my life. Like, I have more friends than I've ever had in my life. I have a job and working in mental health, right? Like, I have a decent relationship with my sibling, which I never thought was possible, right? I'm stable. I'm 2 years free of mental hospital visits and inpatients and stuff like that. So, like, I'm actually doing really well. I think I just get bored. I'm like, I need some chaos. And so, like, maybe I'm just self-sabotaging. And
do you also think you want her to see that you're doing well?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like, it crosses my mind every day that I'm like, I want her to see that I'm, like, held the same job for almost 2 years, and then I'm like self-sufficient, and then I'm like, I don't need her, right? Like, I'm good. And then I just want her to like miss me,
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, it's fair. And I also think the way that she ended the relationship was like very unfair to you, and did leave, like, I'm not a big closure person, but I think that that's a very cruel way to end a friendship. Like, and again, I understand I've had to step away from friendships for like my own mental health, but like, I give myself a grace period of time to do that. But then like, you have to communicate that, because like that would be devastating for me as well if someone had done that. I do think though that like the longing for her to like see how well you're doing and all of that, in order for that place, like that place, you guys both to get to that place, it has to be to the point where like you actually don't care anymore. But like right now, while you're still invested in like hoping that she sees like how well you're doing, she's not going to see that, even if no matter how well you're doing, she's not going to see that if she doesn't want to see it. Like, she will find a way to be like, oh no, like it also like whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, you could always find a way to like talk down or like diminish like the success that someone else has just because like you're not in the space to like acknowledge that, because it makes you feel shitty. So like there's no amount of like wins or success that you could have that she can look at in a way that will feel like satisfaction, because it doesn't seem like she wants, like, she's still subtweeting about this. So, like, to me, she's still pissed. She's still angry. She's still in that. And like, she probably hasn't had the best 2 years like you have.
Yeah. And if you want to think about the main character of it all, she's still thinking about you. She's subtweeting you.
I hope so. Well,
no, we know so. She was just doing it.
Yeah. It wasn't like I'm thinking about that Sagittarius moon. It was like fuck this Sagittarius moon. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what light it is. Yeah.
How far away are you moving away?
2 streets.
Oh gosh.
Oh good God. When's her wedding?
I don't know. I don't have her on social media. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that like you right now wanting to show her how well you're doing, I can pretty confidently say that she's not doing well. And so no matter how well you're doing, she will have to talk that down and diminish that to make her feel better, because like no one wants to think that like when they step away and like dramatic, like she really fucking dramatically left the friendship and relationship and all of that, that she wants to think that then that will cause whatever to happen to like afterwards of that. And like you've just kind of risen above all of that and like crushed it. And that is hard for her to see, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think it's because like, so from my understanding, I heard from a friend that's because we have a lot of mutual friends, which makes it even more difficult, is that the reason she left is because she got tired of seeing me like hurting myself, right?
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason I want her to see me doing well is because like it's like I want her to know I'm done with that now. Like you don't have to you don't have to like hold your breath anymore, right? Like I'm not going to be in. I'm stable. Like you can come back. Like I'm good now. Like I think that's why I'm holding on to it. But like honestly, at the end of the day, like from the things y'all have told me and the things that my other best friend has told me about, like why would you want somebody that was willing to abandon you after the hardest time of your life? Like why would you want that person in your life to begin with? Like. And then when you were saying things like, there's something that Meghan said, when you're like, you're taking that away from somebody else. You can't hold space for that affection if she's still occupying it. You're not actually getting anything out of it or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, you were very wise. I was very like impressed. I don't know.
Thank you. I've gone through a lot.
Yeah.
I had to figure it out.
I've been watching Meghan's videos forever. I actually found you through Lily because I was a big clever girly.
Yes.
So,
oh my God, obsessed. I love.
Because Lily and I's birthdays are a day apart. So
chaotic Aries energy.
Yeah.
Obsessed. No, like I think that like you have too much going for you to put so much into somebody who like was not treating you the way that you deserve to be treated. And also, and I say this with so much love, this might sound like a little bit harsh. What your friend said of why she left, if that was truly the case, you wouldn't have to parade how well you're doing. She would come back on her own and she would have already done that and circle back to see how you're doing. And she didn't do that. So like that would never be your responsibility to like knock her down her door to let her know that you're doing well. Like if she was concerned, like she would be keeping tabs, like she would be aware of that and she would then want to step back into the place that she was at. So to me, I think that was probably a cop-out way of saying that, like, because I'm sure, like you said, your other best friend had the same feelings of like, why the fuck would you want to be friends with someone or anything with someone who did this to you? So like, I think that's probably something she said to like mutual people to save face, because it's I think an unforgivable thing. If someone did that to me, sure. But if someone did that to one of my friends, I'd be like, you're fucking dead to me. Like, no, you're gone. Like, my
best friend has blocked her on everything. She's like this. She's cold. She's way more like cut him off. Like she's a Taurus, so she's way more like cut him off, never see him again. And I'm like, but their feelings, you know, like. But yeah, what you said's true, and honestly, like way more like valuable than anything I've gotten out of therapy in the last 6 months. So
wow,
I really do appreciate like the words of wisdom from my elders.
Of course. We're here for you.
Call us elders though.
It's okay. I know I'm old. I'm getting up there in age. It's fine. No, but I think like you find like a good therapist who you can deliver your I always refer to therapy as like 55 minutes of stand up, and like that's totally okay if you have the right therapist who's like, you know, can manage that in the way that it is. But yeah, throw yourself into like other friendships and like go out with other people and like take up like busy yourself. So like there is no space for her.
I am so busy. When you said that, I was like, she doesn't even know. Like I work 9 to 5, and then from every night I do open mics every night as well. And then I get home at like midnight and then wake up at like, so like I'm busy. But somehow I've still managed to watch 65 million hours of Survivor in the last week. I don't know how it happens. It just does. But yeah, no, I'm busy. I just need to be busier, apparently. So
yeah.
But yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Write it out.
Yeah.
Write it all out. write a wonderful movie about all of it.
That I can do.
Yeah,
that I can do.
Don't need a journal. I wasn't suggesting journal. I'm suggesting write a screenplay.
Monetize off of it.
When you said in the last episode, don't write in a journal if you're one of those people who like ruminates, I was like, noted.
Yeah. No, I told you I loved your energy, and I was like, I'm feeling it like akin, and I'm like, it feels like we're on the same vibe. Don't fucking journal. It's not for all of us.
No, definitely not for me.
I feel like I haven't done anything productive. I'm sorry. I feel like I've just been babbling the whole episode.
No, that's the whole point.
That's the entire podcast.
That's what podcasting is. Us babbling.
This is literally.
We had to create new podcasts because we were just babbling all the time. So
we love it. Well, please let us know if you ever do anything comedy-wise that we can like watch and consume. We would love that.
I will.
Like, you're very funny.
Thank you. I think y'all are delightful, and you should keep up the podcast stuff.
Thank you.
We will. I'm taking your word for it.
Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to take a break.
We're back from our break. So we're going to get into our first call.
Hi, Meghan and Melisa. I'm calling a second time because I did get cut off the first time. I'm a 24-year-old with she/her pronouns, and I'm faced with a dilemma. I was promoted to assistant manager at the bookstore I work at in March of 2023. Now, in June, I'm trying to decide if I really want this position. The good thing about being assistant manager, I got a substantial raise, actually exactly what I asked for. Now for the cons. There is one glaringly obvious con for me and no others: the owner. I'll call him Paul. I work closely with Paul, as the previous manager stepped down and Paul took over as the interim manager. Why did the previous manager step down, you ask? I've only received speculation from a fellow employee that the previous manager became overwhelmed with the responsibilities of managing this bookstore. Again, just speculation, never received confirmation. As for Paul, he is an enigma. In person, for the most part, he is charming. Don't get it twisted, I'm not attracted to this man. This is just the best word to use. However, he's not a kind person. Perfect example of kind. A nice, not kind. He calls his own employees stupid, not to their face, just to me in private, and regularly uses the R word, as in mentally disabled person, makes inappropriate jokes. He emails me all the time on my days off about things that are not important enough to bother me about on my day off. For example, the customer's bathroom mirror was cloudy and he complained that it needed to be cleaned with something else. Of course, he would never clean it himself. He also always complains that enough work isn't getting done, no matter the circumstance. Paul was very hands-off before the previous manager stepped down. For example, he opened this bookstore almost 15 years ago and only learned how to work the register in December, as in December of 2022. Paul is very disorganized, and I'm very organized, and go into work every day with a to-do list, only for Paul to pile on the things that he wants done. It's overwhelming. I can't decide if it's worth it. I really like the environment, I'm an avid reader, and really care about books, plus the other people I work with are all great. So basically, everything is great except Paul. What would you do in this situation? Would you push through dealing with Paul to keep your paycheck high, or would you choose to step down and lose out on the money so you wouldn't have to work so closely with Paul? I do live at home, so money isn't exactly a pressing issue for me at the moment, but I am trying to save to move out. I also want to include Paul is a Marine. Thank you both. Love the podcast.
Thank you for including that.
You really knew how to tie that one up.
You really knew your audience. You said he's the definition of nice, not kind. And then you ended, oh, he's also a Marine. Bye.
What would you do?
Here's the thing. What I'm going to say. I feel like you and I, or at least me, I can't speak for both of us. I'm going to have to give two kinds of advice because we have very similar personalities of certain things that, like, what I would do, I would not say is because I think it's what's right. It's just like, that's how I operate.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, when I'm around someone who I can't stand and I have to like work with, and I'm not in the position of power there, like that they're working above me in that, I can get incredibly condescending and not productive and helpful. Because then for me, my coping with that is if I can't say, like, if I can't change this or I can't make the situation better, then to make myself feel better, then I can sometimes be like a little patronizing. And there are ways to do that the person can't pick up on, but I just get more and more frustrated that I don't view that as like a good use of my time in that sense. But, you know, I think like the saving of the money, like I do think the fact that you have the option to step down if you want to, you can, and like you still have your job and you just don't work with him as directly. But I would say, is there room for change in this? And like, this seems to be like, you said he did not do this for the last manager or last assistant manager. And is
that
this,
though?
Yeah. But I'm saying like, is there room in this relationship to be like, hey, I feel like we're not totally on the same page about everything. Like, I would love if we could like have like a sit down meeting in this, and like even making, you said you do a to-do list before work, and then telling him like, hey, I've made this Google Doc. So if like things come up for over the weekend that you think about, throw this on here and like I can circle back to it. And I've got a to-do list of things that like I'm going to do. But like, I don't think that just because he's your manager, you obviously know him better than me. I don't think that means that you just have to go based on his whole outlook and mindset of this, because you are, as a disorganized person, I seek out organized people, and I would never want them to be disorganized because of me. Like I would like to be more like what they're doing. So if you can have a conversation with him, and then I would pick like a timeline of like, if this does not get better or this isn't bearable for me by X time, then I will step down.
Good advice. Here's my 2 things that I would do. Back before I started working for myself, I would quit a job in a minute.
Yeah, me too.
So, but this is different because I didn't have any loyalty to my jobs that I did, and you seem to have some type of loyalty. But there's one thing that you said was that he's the interim manager, and interim doesn't always mean that they're going to always be the manager. It's usually they're just temporary until someone else is hired.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is temporary, I would say, well, first find out how long the temporariness of it is. And if that's something that you can endure, then, you know, endure it until it's over, until he's not in that position anymore. 2, I would, if you are in contact and can be in contact with the person that was formerly in this position, ask them. Just ask him, hey, I know that like you're no longer working there. I was just curious. I've been now promoted to this position. I was just curious, like, if you have any, you know, come in nice first. If you have any tips and tricks for the position, and I'm just curious, like, why you left.
Yeah.
So those are my things. Either for me, I would have quit, but I also hadn't been, you say you've been working there for a long time. Before I had my last boss I was ready to quit, but then situations corrected themselves. And so there's that. They were no longer my boss at that point anyway. So
life finds a
way.
You caught me off guard with that one. That was good.
And I was I had a whole thing written up about how I never I didn't want to work with them anymore. And then things happen. And so those are my options. Just, and I like what you said about, you know, essentially setting boundaries and saying, I'm not available at this time. When I'm off. Please don't contact me. Here's a spreadsheet. Anything that arises, you can put it in this, and I will check it when I'm back at work.
Yeah, because I'm a stream of consciousness person. And so like half the time that I'm texting someone, like asking for something or following up with something, it's not because I'm like, oh, I need that now. It's because like, oh, if I send that, then I will remember to do like what I need to do. But if like someone was like, hey, that stresses me out, like, or whatever, I would be like, oh, let me throw a shared doc there. Like, that's how I operate. That's not, I don't need anyone else to do the way that I'm doing. And like, we can all be adaptable in that sense. What about you just getting promoted again and becoming the manager?
That's what I'm saying. If it's interim, then like, maybe you're just really good at this and they promote you again.
Yeah. But yeah, I think a combo to be had, but...
Or even like, he's not the owner, right?
No, he's the owner.
He is the owner?
Yeah, owner is Paul, and Paul is now the manager.
Oh. Okay, then yeah, he doesn't want this job.
No.
So
yeah, maybe even just ask like, hey, so have you thought about like what you want? Do you want to promote internally for manager? Are you looking for outside hires? Like, do you want me to add that onto like my docket of like, should we set up some interviews? Like,
yeah, push him out.
Yeah. He just wants to be a bookstore owner in like the fanfic sense.
Yeah.
You know, this also sounds like such a fun job. Like, that's like, this is what they like someone's job in like a movie. It's like, I'm a manager of a bookstore. And it's like, that's a job you can have. How cool is that?
Yeah. All right. Ready?
Hi. So I'm calling to get advice about dating with a chronic illness. I want to give a trigger warning for people who might have any like disordered eating issues just in the call because that kind of comes up with my chronic illness. So for context, I'm a 27-year-old female and I've got a chronic GI issue that's gone undiagnosed for over 2 years now. It basically amounts to like a chronic vomiting issue. Anytime you eat, that's where the trigger warning comes in. But I don't really have a diagnosis. A lot of people and doctors have assumed it's an eating disorder because of, the symptoms, which has made dating really hard with this. It makes me not want to eat around potential dates for fear that I won't be able to keep it down. And dates have noticed and commented, and I've felt forced to explain this issue that doesn't have a diagnosis, I don't really have a lot of clarity around or a lot of control around, and people have ended up bailing because of it. Other context, for various reasons, up until now, I've not really ever dated long term. People I've been interested in not really reciprocating that interest and then kind of shutting down because I was in grad school for 5 years and just didn't really have the bandwidth to be dating seriously. So I found it really hard the last few years to put myself out there, but I really do want to be in a relationship, and I'm looking for some advice about how to share this non-diagnosis with potential partners without turning them off because it's not been successful up until this point. Thanks so much. Looking forward to any advice you might have, Meghan and Melisa. Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
I want to give you a hug.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you any unsolicited advice, but I had gone through, when I had mono, I went through something very similar with this and had doctors say very similar things. And the conclusion that we had come to is not a very effective diagnosis with, anything or whatever it is, but it was able to have me do certain things that could help and eventually remedy it over time. So if you slide into my DMs on my personal one, I'm not going to do all that because you didn't ask for that here. But so if you would like to hear any of that, shoot me a message and I would do that. But that's not the advice you're asking for. So I don't want to unsolicited give that to you because I'm sure you get a fuck ton. This is a very, very hard position to be in. And I do think that not sharing it ahead of time is a self-fulfilling prophecy of carrying the shame with this. And especially a new date in that sense, I think it's, for me, whatever you're sharing with someone who is you're new and with dating. And I notice this based on how I receive information from people. There are some things that feel too big to say, but not saying them is saying something else. There's something there. And finding out that you have an undiagnosed GI thing that's a chronic illness that's really hard, that is not a deal breaker. And it should not be a deal breaker for a lot of people. And if it is a deal breaker for those people, then okay, better that then and now. But especially having had medical professionals not take you totally seriously, I think you might start to question yourself. And then you go into dates and you're not sharing this information, and then they're reacting in a similar kind of way because they're not getting a lot of information and they're having to point out and notice that kind of stuff. I don't think that that's good for you either. I don't think that you're preventing them. You're not holding off until it's a safe time. I think that some people, especially when you're actively going through something, I think it's better to let people know ahead of time because other people's reactions, while I'm still in the thick of that, I can take that really personally. And they might not be intending to mean it this way or whatever it is, but the way that people can like support us is usually if they know what's going on. Like, it's hard for people to give reactions that are the right reactions if they don't fully know what they're reacting to, because then they're watching how they're reacting, and like they're like not like, it's just hard, and it leaves a lot of room for disappointment for you. And like, again, you're in the thick of this. This is a fresh active wound that you're working through and dealing with. So I think that it might feel awkward, but I do think that it is important, and I would say probably better to start off with this.
Yeah, I agree. But if you're like kind of iffy, like if you don't know if you actually like this is going to go anywhere, maybe proposing a date the first time that's a non-food related date, like going to play mini golf or something. And then if you're like, okay, this could potentially go somewhere. And then like for the next date, prepare them, like let them know.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it is something that you don't necessarily want to share or can share, or like, because you really don't know what it is. And so it's like, I don't know what this is, but there's something going on with me. Yeah, you don't know what it is. And so it makes it a little uncomfortable even to explain it, because it's like, I don't know, I threw up, you know? And so like first date, something that's relaxing, something that you don't have to have food for, where you can talk and maybe get to know the person a little bit better. And then like, if you feel like this is somebody that you're comfortable with, and that, you know, I mean, a second date is still very early to know if you can fully trust somebody, but it still is like you've crossed a barrier that wasn't there before.
Yeah. And I agree. I think I would keep it vague, and I would literally just say something like, I think not doing a food related date is a good call on the first date. And then if they ask if you want to like, oh, do you want to go grab ice cream or something? You're like, oh, I'm currently working through like a weird stomach diagnosis thing. So like I am not trying to eat on a date with you right now. And like, you can have that be lighthearted.
And then come up with something else. But so like you have like another thing. But if you want to go do blah, 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 then we can go do this.
And then I think like on a second date, before a second date, like, or whenever you feel comfortable, just letting know like, hey, heads up, like if we can avoid like food related dates, that would be great. I'm dealing with this undiagnosed like chronic GI thing that's been really rough, and I am not at my best in those instances. And that's like so not how I want to be in like the early stages of dating. Like, I hope you understand, like bring your snacks, like stock up on food ahead of time. Fingers crossed. Like I'm, you know, seeing some specialists. I'm really hoping like things get resolved, but like, it's definitely like not something that I want to be at the forefront of like the early stages of dating.
Yeah.
Because I think you kind of sharing the conversation, sharing that, but not making it a conversation of like, you know, it's not they don't need to ask follow-up questions. You don't owe them all of these like details and certain things like that. It can just be like, this is where I'm currently at. If that's cool, like then let's move forward. Because to me, that is okay. Like that's such not a hard thing from the other perspective to be like, well, then how am I supposed to date them? Like it's so not that. But I think making sure that you are still feeling comfortable in how you're talking about it. And I would talk about it differently than you talk about it with your doctors. Your doctors are saying the symptoms and like all of that kind of stuff. And I wouldn't do that with these guys. And I really wouldn't do that until like you were like more seriously dating someone. I'm just always concerned and worried about, there are certain things that certain men fetishize, and finding out something in this vein could then also be detrimental to your mental health of ending up with someone who enjoys an aspect about you that is not who you are. It's a chronic illness you're going with, and whether it's like a side effect of that or like anything, there's some people with some like really fucked up fetishes and stuff like that. So you will be able to suss out like the vibes on people like that without having to like, you know, let them know that you're going through what specifically you're going through and like your symptoms and all of that stuff. And like, yeah, that could also be triggering to someone else. Like, you don't know if the person you're going out with has dealt with bulimia or body image-related issues in regards to weight. So you don't know how they could be triggered if you start talking about symptoms in that way as well. So I think being broad about it will protect your mental health, because I think, people can really disappoint you without knowing that they're disappointing you. And I think we've all been victim to that. So it's mitigating that in a way that you can. And that's not like lying or anything like that. It's just that some people, until like you said, until you can start to know that you have more confidence that you can trust them. Like, I don't think we should give people like the ammo to hurt us in that way. But I'm really sorry you're going through this, and that's very, very, very hard. And I hope it looks up and starts getting better.
Me too. We're going to take a break now.
And we're back from our break.
Time for Don't Blame Them.
Okay, so if you are not sure what Don't Blame Them is where a listener, one of you, will call in with your own advice pertaining to a call that we have aired on a previous episode. So maybe you have personal experience. It's about the profession that you're in. It's about a relationship. You've been in something similar. Maybe you have experience by proxy through a friend, a sibling, or you've stumbled down a TikTok rabbit hole and you're like, I am a new expert on this thing, or you just have your own advice you would like to share.
Here we go.
Hi, Meghan and Melisa. I am calling for a Don't Blame Them for the episode titled Lesbian Dating Survey. I'm not calling about that call, although I did love that call and I love that caller and I wish her all the good luck with the matchmaking. Love that. But I am actually calling about the gift giving call. I agree with everything you guys said, especially with Meghan saying how, like, if there was a big shift in the way she's giving gifts, that would explain her friend's reaction. But I did want to call because you guys didn't address the part of her call where she said after that holiday, he, like, didn't get her a birthday gift. And I thought that was kind of weird because it seemed like him being mad about her Christmas gift is what led to him not giving her a birthday gift at all, which is very reactionary and immature to me. I mean, I understand if he didn't give it a gift because of finances or something, but I would assume because they have been best friends for so long that he would have mentioned that to her or explained himself. So I just find it really weird that he was so pissed off after seeing the other friend get a gift that he felt the need to mention it after he had not even given her a gift for her birthday. So to me, this reaction seems overboard, but like Melissa said, really, callers, I think, just have to talk to him to figure out exactly where that reaction came from. And I also agree with Melissa in explaining why you got him the specific mug or stationery. Like Meghan said, to me, those don't seem like the most personal gifts, but it sounds like you got them for him for a specific reason. Like, they're ones that you really like, that you know he would enjoy as well. But if you gave him those specific reasons of why you got those things, it might feel to him more personal. Because just looking at the gift as a whole or just, like, naming it off, mug, stationery, yeah, it doesn't sound as personal, but maybe he just needs that explanation. But bottom line, there just needs to be communication here. I do think that his reaction is kind of unwarranted after the fact that he didn't give you a gift at all for your birthday. But if you want to work this out, I think you just have to talk to each other. Okay, well, good luck. Thanks for taking my call. Bye.
Thank you.
I missed that part.
I did too.
So the birthday gift, the Christmas gift was after? So he didn't get her a birthday gift, and then she got him this Christmas gift that he was like, this sucked.
I'm looking at the call now it says, so for later for my birthday, I guess it was enough because he didn't get me a gift.
So it was after.
The birthday was after the gift giving.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I also think he has to communicate that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for pointing that out because definitely messed up.
Sorry.
Our bad. We are perfect though, so.
It just wasn't, the vibe for us to answer at that time.
No. It was a choice. Like, we intentionally just skipped over that part. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to call us for an upcoming one, leave us a voicemail, send us a voice memo. If you have been a caller on a previous episode and you would like to give us an update about your situation, shoot us an email and we can schedule that, or you can send us a written update, send us a voice memo, whatever you would like to do for that. And yeah, don't forget to rate this episode. Make sure you're subscribed so you can check out all of the other shows that we put out all week, and follow the socials. And I think that's it. Anything else?
That's it.
Yeah. Join the Patreon, support us, and we will love you forever.
Support us supporting you.
A bra.
What?
Like we're a bra.
Oh.
Like a bra supports you.
You said a bra, but in my head, I heard a bruh.
A bro. Yeah, your bros support you just like
bros
your bros
supporting bros.
Bros supporting bros. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Don't Blame Me is a production by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production sound and editing by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Giacomo Picasso and Ryan Hunter.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast. We bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone, so we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural Then and Now.
Hey, are you ready for some real talk and some fantastic laughs? Join me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
We're serving up 4 hilarious shows every week designed to entertain and engage and, possibly enrage you.
And Don't Blame Me, we dive deep into listeners' questions, offering advice that's funny, relatable, and real.
Whether you're dealing with relationship drama or you just need a friend's perspective, we've got you.
Then switch gears with But Am I Wrong, which is for listeners who didn't take our advice and want to know if they are the villains in the situation.
Plus, we share our hot takes on current events and present situations that we might even be wrong in our lives. Spoiler alert, we are actually quite literally never wrong.
But wait, there's more. Check out See You Next Tuesday, where we reveal the juicy results from our listener polls from But Am I Wrong?
And don't miss Fisting Friday, where we catch up, chat about pop culture, TV, and movies. It's the perfect way to kick off your weekend.
So if you're looking for a podcast that feels like a chat with your besties, listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.